Hello, I wanted to talk to you about Caledon, the Badlands. We were there this weekend, and I guess ever since coming back from Halifax, I've been wanting to explore more, especially more of, well, all of Canada, and especially where the Indigenous peoples are concerned. And just basically trying to imagine what Canada must have been like in the 1700s. Anyway, we were in Caledon at the Badlands, it's called. It is this beautiful place, and this trail, it leads to the Bruce Trail, which is basically one of the longest walking paths within Canada. So you could walk actually from Milton, Ontario, all the way to Tobermory, if you wanted to. There would be many parking spots along the way, many areas where you could get off the trail if you were to walk that route. So you could take, drinks, or even find a hotel or so to sleep if you get tired. And then you could come back onto the trail and walk if you wanted to, of course. Considering it takes about 3.5 hours to drive to Tobermory from Toronto, I can't even imagine how long the walk would be from starting in Milton all the way to Tobermory on just that one trail. Anyway, it's crazy to think about that. But anyway, let me talk to you much about, I want to talk to you about the Badlands, and just basically to show you what it looked like. It's in Caledon, Ontario, and I'm from Etobicoke. So it's just basically, it's about 50-minute drive from where I live. Okay, so here is, I just want to show you some pictures actually first before I start talking about how it, what it is exactly. As you can see, it's rock formation. It's a rock formation, and it was all happened naturally over time, lots of time. But let's see how I can start briefly giving you the history okay, so again, it is Caledon, Badlands. I don't know where it got the name Badlands, because it's definitely nothing bad about it. Okay. 450 million years ago, much of Canada was actually covered by a shallow tropical sea. And it was basically under the sea, or basically it was the rock that were formed was from siltstone and sandstone rocks. So the red rocks that you saw on the pictures were exposed red queenstone shale. And shale is a fine sedimentary rock that contains silt and clay minerals, and is broken into thin parallel layers. And of course, parallel lines that never meet, right? So it's broken down to thin parallel layers. Now, sedimentary rocks, since I mentioned that, since shale is a fine sedimentary rock, what is a sedimentary rock? Sedimentary rocks are rocks that build up over time. They accumulate over time and are made of minerals and organic particles in the Earth's surface, right? So anyway, so the Indigenous group that lived here from the very beginning, basically, were the Mississaugas of the Credit. And they came to this area that is now called the Cheltenham Badlands in the 1700s. They hunted and fished and practiced horticulture, which means planting and farming and growing flowers, plants, and crops. That's all the practice of horticulture. Actually, my grandfather from my dad's side was a horticulturist. So he grew plants and flowers. Anyway, so they migrated, the Mississaugas of the Credit migrated seasonally, which means they didn't stay there the whole year or permanently. They just kind of came and go. They came and left as the season suited them, whatever was best, which also means that they were not using up a whole lot of the land because they weren't there all the time. So they basically didn't take all the resources off the land. They just lived very lightly off the land, basically. And they only took what they needed. But the European settlers arrived some 400 years ago, and they set up farms and cut down trees to grow more crops. And from 1850 to 1950, they grew wheat, oats, potatoes, and peas, and cows. They grazed and fed off this land as well. Now, with all this farming and the trees being cut to clear the land for farming, and with weather conditions ranging from severe rain, much of the land and the soil there eroded. Now, erosion is when the rich iron-filled soil washes away or goes away over time due to overuse, farming, weather, etc. So erosion occurs when soil is being removed or taken away at a faster rate than it can be remade again or replenished, right? So it can take century or millennia even for soil to replenish the soil again once it has been eroded. So in 2002, which wasn't that long ago actually, in 2002, the Badland area was taken over by the Ontario Heritage Trust to protect the land and to conserve it and to ensure a route to the Bruce Trail. So I already talked about the Bruce Trail. So now, as you could see, there was a walkway bridge in the pictures, and that walkway bridge, nobody was allowed to actually go onto the red soil, the formations you saw. And because there was a direct path, then there was the bridge that you could only stand on that bridge area and take pictures. But this is their way of preserving the land so that it doesn't wash away completely, and they can keep the red Queenston shell the way it is now, right? So so that is a brief lesson of erosion, of rock formation, of a bit about Caledon. And if you ever want a place to visit, somewhere that's close by and you don't really know where to go, it's only a 50-minute drive. So definitely look up the Badland in Caledon. It's, mainly Cheltenham to be specific, Badlands. So just Google it and you'll find the directions, and it does cost about $20 to get in. You need to book a time slot. You need to make a reservation to go in and see it because they only allow a certain number of people in at a time. As again, a formal way to control and preserve this land. Okay, well, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.